What's up, YouTube? How's it going? It has been a crazy couple days. I've been just trying to keep busy. My wife is visiting some family in Texas, so I have just been trying to keep busy. Miss my wife, so I'm doing what I always do, just working. So I wanted to show you something though. As you know, everything is just sky high. Prices. It cost me like $300 and something to fill this up, and it didn't even fill up all the way. I just got tired of going into the gas station because the pump would click off at the max twice, and so at that point I'm just like, you know what, I'm done. So got mostly full. The price of a dumpster, these 18 to 20 yard dumpsters, like $6,000. When I bought this one, it was like 3 something. I mean, it's just insane in the last couple of years what things are priced at. So I have been trying my best to just think of a way to leverage my business more, bring in more revenue, and I think I've got it. So this is a little different. In your big cities, I know you guys probably already know what this is, but in these smaller towns that don't have a waste management, this is totally new. So take a look at this. This is actually my apartment, if you haven't seen my stuff before. This is a 6-unit that I own, and I'm just cleaning up one of the units right now because I had a tenant move out. He kind of trashed it. He was a good tenant for the most part. He was just dirty, and it was just a good time to do a total redo on the bathroom and a little bit of the kitchen on the floor. So just got to get it done, turn it over to somebody else. So take a look at these. This is my experiment. This is a 3-yard dumpster bag. $29.99 with tax. It ends up being like about $32, I think. So this holds 3 cubic yards worth of stuff. What's funny is there is the old vinyl plank flooring. There's a little bit of scraps from what I've started. There's some of my Taco Bell. And there's even a shower insert tucked in there. So it holds quite a bit, and there's still room. I can still kind of pick up the corner, but it is a little heavy. So here's the idea. Again, you guys have seen this. They come in sometimes with the crane. They pick these bad boys up, they lift them, and they put them onto a flatbed. I don't have a semi-crane truck, but what I do have is that flatbed trailer. Cut to an image of that, or a video of that flatbed trailer being used. All right, so if you've seen me use that before, I use it to move shipping containers, and I basically just drag them up. The idea, and this is completely testing right now, is going to take a little bit of fabrication. In some cases, I really do think I can just hook a cable up to that, drag it on up, especially when it's not a super heavy load. And the idea is going to be to aim under a ton, obviously, on all of these. There's probably going to be rules on no tile, no shingles, because those are going to be things that instantly are super heavy. But the thing you don't want to do is get this lip caught while you're dragging it up, right? So it's going to take a little bit of fabrication work. So in some cases, I really do think I can just tilt that trailer up and drag it right on there. And with that trailer, I can probably fit 6 or more bags just on that flatbed. But I might build kind of like a box. Not a box, I'm sorry, like a bar, and it'll be reinforced in the sides, where then there's a snatch block sitting or dangling in the middle of it, so it at least gives it some leverage. So instead of that cable just getting dragged across the bottom of the flatbed, it'll kind of, come up at more of an angle and then rest onto the flatbed. So that's the idea. The reason I'm doing it is I get people asking all the time, could I get a 4-yard dumpster from you? They go to my website, they see my other dumpsters, and they're just like, do you have anything smaller? And finally I'm to the point like, no, I don't, and you guys ask all the time, but this might be the solution. And the idea is that cost me $30. If I can charge let's say like $165 to $175, That might seem a little low in your area. This is my area. This is definitely going to be a volumes game. But if I get 175 out of that, it's going to be well under a ton typically. I can probably put 6 to 8 of those on the trailer, and then we'll use the skid and we'll either just load them into here, empty out as many as we can, save as many bags as we can. In most cases, they'll probably just get pitched. So you got to take that out of your cost. You got to take the fuel out of your cost. But if I can get 8 or more bags into a container and then drive them over to the dump, get rid of them, that'd be awesome. Or my flatbed does tilt. I could just put 8 of these on the flatbed and drive the flatbed all at once and only do these X amount of weeks. Crazy idea. Yeah, I know some of you are going to be like, don't do it. But like I said, this is a volumes game. And with that, I'll have to unhook this trailer to do it, which is kind of a bummer. And you guys can toss out more ideas, but I'm not looking to experiment with this and spend a crap ton of money. This is more of a test, see if I have the market here, and then we'll go from there. The cool thing is, if I do this properly, I am going to get another truck. Shout out to any trucks. I'm going to probably try to get more of a backup truck rather than spend 50 grand on a truck again. We will go more for like another 7.3 Ford or like a second gen Cummins or something like that. Something that's reliable, but more of the backup. But we can hook one of those trucks up to the flatbed and focus primarily on this, and maybe moving the skid steer around for rentals and stuff like that. The cool thing is my tenant over here on the other side, I just found out, hates his job. He's an incredibly reliable tenant. He works Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that leaves Tuesday and Thursday open for me to actually train him, let him drive my truck, because as you guys know from previous videos, I need a Class A CDL to drive this. Well, guess who has a Class A CDL and can't see it on his license plate, but he was also in the military. Super reliable dude. So I think I'm going to start training him, and as the summer picks up, I might end up with my first full-time employee, and I'm kind of pumped because I'm trying to scale my business, and I think this is the way to do it. If I can have one truck running around picking these things up and dropping off skid steers, or bringing skid steers to a job site where I'm tearing down a mobile home or a garage, I don't have to unhook trucks and trailers, and then I can show up with this thing for other things and have somebody running that. I'm finally feeling like my business is going past the me point. And the great part is, when I need to schedule things, if I can schedule things on the days that I know he'll be working, I can finally get that pressure off my shoulders, because it's crazy, guys. People wonder how I sleep, and I don't really know how I sleep. It's in and out. You guys always talk about how this isn't really a side hustle thing. And the guys who really do this realize that. A lot of guys get into this, they're like, side hustle. And I did it too. And it was a side hustle. But if you want to make real money doing it, that phases out really fast. And you realize, okay, you got to scale it. You got to move as many as possible. Turnover is key. And that's kind of what has happened to me. But I also see other market opportunities. So anyway, that's my idea. I want your ideas on what I can do with that. Like I said, I've got a skid, I've got a flatbed tilt trailer with a winch, I've got this monster here. I've also looked into small cranes with like a limit of 2,000 pounds, because I also could get one of those cranes or those like engine hoists that sit on the back of your truck, and I could just have small like flatbed F-250s going around town. Let's say like 1 or 2 of them if this thing really takes off, and I could have those things picking them up and put them just on the back of a flatbed truck, and then we unload those with the skid and put them into a container. Because I do have that property out in Liberty, and I can start just combining all of these dumpsters into bigger ones. Or even better, I can ask a different company in town who only charges like $475 for 2 weeks for a dumpster. Have them drop one off at my shop. 2 weeks, 5-ton limit on that. Imagine, and that's a 30-yard dumpster. Imagine how many of those bags I can get in one of those, and then I'm not running them around. So many ideas. I really think there's an opportunity in this. But while I've got you here, let's actually take a look at one of these units I'm tearing apart right now. All right, guys, like you can tell, I've got a lot of stuff going on here. So the funny thing is, I have definitely started to learn the power of actually outsourcing things. This kit, I mean, what sucks is this place got a pretty good cleanup, or when I bought it. Like, these stairs were freshly done. These walls, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, if you guys have tenants or have seen what tenants can do to a place, they can absolutely destroy it. It was just not incredibly considerate. I mean, he tore up all the walls going up. And of course, this is plaster, so it doesn't patch incredibly well. And honestly, this isn't going to do it justice because I already pulled so much junk out of here. And it's just a typical dude. Doesn't clean, doesn't do any of that. So we just got gunk all over the place. But I'll give you the tour. Looks like my little brother might have been playing with the light switch. But here you go. This is the actual bedroom. This is technically a 1-bedroom apartment. This is one of the bigger ones. I have 2 of these in this unit, 6 units total, but on the top floor, both of them are these bigger styles. It is an older building, believe it or not. I mean, it's like just after the late 1800s. I want to say this is like a 1904 or something like that. As you can see, I ripped up the old linoleum floor. Super frustrating once I actually ripped it up. It was actually a vinyl plank, so there used to be linoleum. You can see this glue that is not coming up. But there used to be a linoleum floor here, and they did a terrible job because they used a really thin linoleum. It had a really thin base to it. I really recommend these. I've used these. This is like a LifeProof brand. It's one of the thicker linoleum style planks, and it doesn't look like it in this video, but I will say it's thicker than what used to be in here. The other stuff was so flimsy that like when you do this, even with this piece this small, it would like flop up or down. But I mean, this is pretty sturdy stuff, and it is like 100% waterproof. I've actually spilled a drink in here before, and I came back 3 days later and the water was still sitting on the floor, which is actually just really cool. I use this pretty much in all of my apartments now. But like I said, it was really frustrating when I tore this up because it just goes to show what some landlords will do. As you can see, I've put down some, leveling patch. I didn't actually pour leveler. I didn't want to go that far because I knew if I did, it would actually make it look like my tub was kind of sinking into the ground. Don't forget, guys, late 1800s building. So obviously the floor isn't perfectly even, but honestly, it's only this area here and right up the stairs that there's a small dip. The rest of the place is actually really, really flat, which is awesome. But anyway, I put some patch down here, but hilarious. There's some left. I haven't gotten to it. They actually stapled this I don't even know how to explain it. This is like roofing, kind of like what you'd put under your roof, like the asphalt that you put under there, the protective coat. This is what was under there. And I mean, it was stapled, and it was all right here, just in patches. And then I found like cardboard boxes from cereal there was like a dozen of them here that they used to try to level the floor. And when I walked on the floor before, sometimes I could feel like there was something underneath of it. Super frustrating that, somebody was just that lazy and just couldn't do it properly, because they at least laid the floor okay. It wasn't perfect, but they knew enough that they should have just known that wasn't going to work. But in here, this used to be in linoleum as well. I really love this stuff because it transitions well into other rooms, and it makes rooms look a lot bigger when you run them certain directions. And I also like to lay this floor without transition pieces, and this is definitely the most time consuming part because you need to actually cut under here. And when you cut under here, you then slide this in. It's a lot of finagling. I cussed a lot. I broke a lot of pieces, but finally got it. I love the flawless transitions between rooms. It just really modernizes it. The only thing I did definitely take a shortcut on, and some of you contractors can judge me, I actually did not take out this bead. So this stuff right here, if you've ever worked in old houses, you can't really find this very often at just like your typical Home Depot, Lowe's. This is good. They don't make this type of well, what do you call it, bead anymore, or like we quarter round. We call it quarter round. It's a little bit smaller, but this is much bigger, and I did not want to pop this off. I've popped this stuff off before in other units, and it absolutely just deteriorated, it broke, and then you're gluing it together, or you're basically taking and putting quarter round, which is even smaller, and then you've got to paint this whole thing. So instead, what I'm doing is, if you look at it, it's about the same height as quarter round. So it might look a little silly to some that are really picky, but I basically brought it to here, and then I'm gonna put the quarter round in front of it. So it'll almost just kind of tear down. It'll just boom, 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 but once it's painted, most people aren't gonna know. So that was my biggest shortcut, but outside of that, I really love this flooring, highly recommend it, life proof. You can find it at Home Depot, and if you can find the year before's colors, it's always way cheaper. This is actually where the refrigerator used to be, which I felt was a huge waste of space because then they had no pantry, right? But then you turn around here, this is your only storage within this entire unit. So my idea actually is a little different. So this is actually a hallway. I have everything pushed in here, but we'll walk out back through the bathroom. Oh, we're talking about outsourcing. I'm not really a tile guy. I can do it, don't like to. I've done it a couple times before, but I've got my tile guy doing this. There used to be just like a little, like a Walmart shower head with a hose going down. Ooh, I still have it. Look at this. This used to have a hose attached to it. That then had a shower head attached to it. That shower head was up here. It was just a little janky. So I am modernizing it quite a bit, or actually not modernizing. It's gonna look a little retro. It's gonna have the out of the wall. So this is actually gonna be all exposed plumbing that'll come down the wall. It'll have a wall mount here. It'll have a shower head that goes up, points down, and then it's adjustable. So, for the taller people, we'll probably put it up so, a 6-footer can easily stand in here. It comes down here. It then has a tub spout. It's like a brushed iron look. And then we also have a separate hose, kind of like what was in here before, that you can wand things off if you want. So 3 different water access sources, which is really nice. He's got the waterproofing on here. And I just love this Subway tile. It's actually relatively cheap and it just looks really good. I believe these are like 12 by 4-ish. Yeah, 12 by 4-ish, but they just look incredible. We're gonna trim this all in and then we're gonna do a copper or iron, just that retro look everybody likes. Shower curtain rod from here to here rather than those cheap adjustable ones. So I really think this room is going to turn out quite a bit. If you're flipping anything in a house, your money needs to go into your bathroom and your kitchen. That's pretty much the most important places. Oh, and your flooring. I'd say that's it. I'd love to replace this carpet, but there's still so much life in it that you just have to run the numbers. As more people move in and out, I'll make different adjustments. But those 2 things are the most important, or those few things. So I'm doing this floor because this floor was just shot at this point. It needed to be done, but eventually we'll get to the carpet. At least this unit, like other ones I've had in the past, didn't have carpet. I've literally had to replace carpet in probably 4 different bathrooms before. Absolutely disgusting. But like I was getting to before, this kid left like 4 air conditioners. I did not have that many air conditioners in this place. Oh, and I've got like 3 microwaves. I don't get it. So anyway, this hallway actually goes to a separate room over here, that one that I was starting to enter. Obviously I've got this in the way, the refrigerator, and then that is an attic access point where half the attic is divided so he can actually store stuff up there. But we're gonna squeeze back through here. So now, instead of having access to this room over here, oh, he was lovely. He left me a recliner that he obviously was not gonna be able to get out of here alone, but whatever. So as you can see in here, this is a pretty big room. You can almost turn this into a second bedroom. I'm not sure you'd want to because then you kind of lose a living space. But for those people who, like to live tight, like to live on a budget, have a roommate, it is possible and you can maybe come up with some kind of common space. But if I actually just left this access point right here, try to follow me. So you have a hallway right here, whoop, whoop, that goes to the stairs. We have this access point but there's no door here anymore. If I could close this off with something decorative, you know, shiplap, or I could go the way extra mile, rip all of this out, or, you know, I could just put a new door back in here and then just make it lockable. But anyway, they essentially could have another bedroom in here. Then you actually put the refrigerator in this space, a much bigger refrigerator. Right now it has like a 1-person, you know, 8 cubic feet or whatever it is, refrigerator, one of the very small ones. Put the refrigerator here. That way they have the access to their pantry now that was blocked off before by the refrigerator, and they have all this over here with the stove. So it's kind of where I'm going with it. You know, there's things that will slowly get updated, like countertops and stuff, as, again, more people move in and out, but we're just making the small steps. What I haven't mentioned yet is I've got 6 units here. Let's take a look at this. You see this? Quincy Medical Group, one of the biggest employers here in town. And then right over here, Blessing Hospital, the other largest employer in town. If you know anything, Airbnb and traveling nurses are like best friends right now, and people charge an absolute crazy amount to rent to them. I'm not looking to like screw anybody over, but if I can get a TV, a bed, a dresser, and then like all of your kitchen appliances and utensils and everything in here for somebody to rent part-time, or like, you know, for on a 6-month lease. They're even doing contracts directly with the hospitals now, so you don't even have to work with Airbnb. So like I said, I've got a couple of places getting turned over right now because people are moving out of town. But this is kind of a bigger unit than I kind of want to do that in. Downstairs I have more of the single occupancy type, what do you call it? What do they call it? Efficiency units. They're much smaller, so they'd be easier to furnish, less that I have to pay for. Again, run those numbers in your head. But this is a pretty big unit. Before, when it was in the condition it was in, when I bought it, you know, I didn't have a whole lot of money after I bought it, so I just rented it kind of as is after I cleaned it up and painted. I rented this for like $650 or $675. Now, once it's all finished, it'll be closer to the $700 or more. Furnished around here, people are charging anywhere from, for a space this big, I mean, $1,200 to like $2,500. There's even one guy in town on very small units getting like $4,000 a month. It's absolutely insane. Again, not looking to screw people over, but I am looking to grow my business in multiple ways. So I'm debating, and let me know in the comments what you think. Should I turn this bigger unit into an Airbnb space? And I'm not looking for the, you know, oh, I'm in town, I want to use your Airbnb like a hotel. I'm not looking to do that. I'm looking to do more contract work where somebody's going to stay here for short periods of time, like 3 to 6 months. So I'm either going to use this unit or an efficiency. So let me know what you think. The efficiency, I could probably get, those typically rent like $500 to $600 down there. About, yeah, $500 to $600. So I could maybe rent those for $800 to $1,000, maybe $1,200 for the efficiency units, put less furniture in it, or I can fill this place up and do, you know, $1,000 to $1,500. Again, I got this one. I've got the other big unit one person's moving out of, and then I've got one small unit downstairs that will also be getting moved out of. So I've got options. I want to hear your thoughts. But all right, guys, I know it's been a while since I've had a video. I know I'm rambling, and I'm kind of showing you more about my life than I probably should have. But, you know, it's a nice document experience for me. So I'll show you the final product maybe once this is done. Give me the ideas on that green bag. I really think it might be the key to growing my business without having to spend a crap ton of money investing in hook lift trucks and all this other stuff, because you know what, I like looking at margins, and I see a scalable opportunity having multiple trucks driving around just picking those up, because people are calling me every day for little 4-yard dumpsters, and I just don't have them. And the guys who do they obviously have a large market share that they're not tapping into as well as they could. So give me your thoughts. I love reading them. kind of use this as a guide, look in the comments, see what other people say. I want to see if anybody else with a similar setup to mine is running any of those bags, and I want to know how they're picking them up. If I had a hook lift truck, I even thought about how awesome that would be to possibly rig something up to lift those onto almost like a platform that sits on the back of your hook lift. So super cool idea. If you've got a hook lift truck or a hook lift trailer, this might be something you could do. So use your noggin. Let me know what you think. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for following. I hope to see you in the next video. Maybe we'll pick that thing up and see if it rips.